All right, hi guys. This is our first lesson for chapter 1 in our social studies book. So, for social studies in fourth grade, we focus on Pennsylvania and we focus kind of on the history of Pennsylvania, the geography of Pennsylvania, and some different things about Pennsylvania. Luckily, we live in a really cool state with a lot of history, so Pennsylvania is super important to our history as a country, and there's lots of really interesting things that happened in Pennsylvania with a lot of very interesting people. Before we kind of get into the actual historical stuff, we are going to start with kind of the geography of Pennsylvania and just where we live. So our first unit is going to be just about the land of Pennsylvania. So again, looking at it, what plants, what animals, where we're located, all of those different things. And then once we get done with that, we'll move to we'll talk about the regions of Pennsylvania, and then we'll get into like the early landed people who lived here, like the Native Americans, the explorers, and then we'll get into some different settlements that started. And then in our history, when we become one of the 13 colonies, we will eventually talk about, and we will talk about what happened with Britain and our kind of fight for independence and the Revolutionary War, and then maybe we'll have time for some things that happen after that. But to start with, again, we're going to talk about the land of Pennsylvania. So right now we're going to talk about, let me get to lesson 1. Okay, so the first lesson is exploring Pennsylvania. And over here is a little picture of what our state looks like. There's New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Ohio, some states that surround us. And again, some places we're going to talk about in this lesson in general are going to be Pennsylvania, North America, the Allegheny Mountains, Lake Erie, the Great Lakes, Mount Davis, Delaware River, Susquehanna River, Ohio River. Maybe you've already been to those places, heard of those places, or know things about those places. So what we're going to do first is we are going to talk about just in general the geography. So if I look at this page in our social studies book, the heading, which is a text feature up here, is the view from above. Based on the heading, I can make a prediction about what I'm going to read about, which is something about maybe what Pennsylvania looks like from space, because I'm inferring that the view from above is about that. And I also see this little visual over here on the side, kind of like a diagram flowchart that says, where is Pennsylvania? So there's Pennsylvania. I see there we are in our country of the United States. There's our state and there's the rest of the states. Then this one is where we are on our continent, which is North America. So we have the United States, Canada, and Mexico as well. And then the bottom is kind of where we are on Earth, so we can see our place from outer space. So I'm going to read, and I want you guys to follow along right now. Your goal at the end of this is going to be in your packet that we are going to fill out page 1. So before we get started, pull out your packet. It should say Social Studies Lesson 1 packet on it. And I want you to write your name on your packet. You might have to pause the video to find this and then press play when you're ready. And then we today are going to be focusing on, we are on day 1, which is a view from above. We have a little picture. After I'm done reading this, I want your goal to be while I'm reading for you to think about what is the main idea of this one page. This is all I'm reading. This is all we're doing today. When I say main idea, I mean basically what is this entire thing about in one sentence. There's lots of details, but what is the whole thing about? Oftentimes the heading gives us a clue about the main idea. So if the heading is the view from above, maybe the main idea of this will have something to do with that. So right now I'm going to put my packet aside. I want you to pause it until you get situated. Make sure you're in a good spot, you're listening, you can hear everything, and then you need to be a good listener and follow along. All right. It says, looking down at Earth from above, you can see Pennsylvania. Astronaut Guion Bluford, a Pennsylvanian, saw the state from this viewpoint on his shuttle flights. Like him, you can see our state's place in the world. The diagram on this page will help. So again, I'm seeing that there's some astronaut guy named that has seen Pennsylvania from outer space. And then again, here's kind of what the diagram they're referring to. It says, look at the state of Pennsylvania at the top of the diagram. Here it is. Pennsylvania is one of the 50 states in the United States. So we know Pennsylvania is one of 50 states. The next map, this one, shows the United States. Pennsylvania appears in red. You can see that Pennsylvania is located in the northeastern part of the United States. So again, here's the United States. All the states besides Hawaii and Alaska are here. And I see that it's in the north, which means high, and the eastern over to this side. So that's why it's in the northeastern part of the United States. This would be the southeast over here. This would be the southwest over here. This would be the northwest over here. And then we have like kind of like central United States, which is just in the middle. But Pennsylvania is in the northeast. It says, The continent of North America appears on the third map. So here we go right here. Continents are the largest land areas on Earth. Notice Pennsylvania's location in North America. So again, there's Pennsylvania compared to the entire country. And just a reminder, or the entire continent, I guess, compared to the other countries. Just a reminder that there are the other continents. So North America is one, South America, we have Antarctica, we have Asia, we have Europe, we have Africa, and we have Australia. So we know that there are 7 continents, and the reason that those are the continents is because they are the largest land masses. So that's how they decide which ones are continents, okay? Then it says, your view from the shuttle is similar to what you see on the 4th map, which is this one. Because Earth is round like a ball, you see only half of it. Half of Earth is called a hemisphere. Geographers divide Earth into the eastern and western hemispheres and the northern and southern hemispheres. Pennsylvania is located in the northern and western hemispheres. So basically what they do is they take this and they cut it in a line like this. So anything up here is in the northern hemisphere and anything down here is the southern hemisphere. So we are in the northern part of the Earth. And then they divide it again like in half, but again it goes down like the middle like this way. I can't see it because of the way that the Earth is shaped, but we would be if we were dividing in half on the western hemisphere. So we are in the northern and the western hemispheres. So what we're going to do right now is I want us to stop and I want us to think about in our packet what basically is the main idea of the whole thing that we just read. So I want you to stop and think, who or what is this whole page about? I'm hoping we're like, oh, it was about Pennsylvania, because that would be correct. So the whole thing's about Pennsylvania, but what specifically about Pennsylvania? What do you think it was about? And again, I'm looking at the clue. It's all about the view from above. I know we talked about what it looks like as a state, where it looks like in the country, where it is in the continent, where it is in the earth, and we kind of learned all of those different words. So what I'm going to think is that I know the main idea is about Pennsylvania, and I know it's specifically about Pennsylvania's location in, like on Earth and where it is specifically located. So for my main idea, what I want you to write down is I think this whole thing is just telling us about how, in general, it's important for us to know and understand Pennsylvania's location in the world. So I might write down for the main idea, and I want you to write this down. It is important spelled important wrong. It's an O. To know and understand where Pennsylvania is located. I'm going to put where. We're going to write out the word Pennsylvania at Pennsylva. And you're going to be writing neatly. It is important to know and understand where Pennsylvania is located. And maybe we can add in the world, because we're learned about a couple different spots about where it's located on Earth, where it's located in the country, where it's located in the continent. So just in general, it's all about its location. Now what I want you to do is I want you to, you are going to stop and write down your answers for numbers 1 and 2 right here. So number 1 says, what continent do we live on? You're going to write down your answer. Number 2 says, what do we call half of Earth? So again, I'm going to leave this here in case you need to reread. You can pause the video, write down your 2 answers to those questions, and then press play when you're done. Okay, so you should have answered these. If you get them wrong, you're going to fix them. What continent do we live on? We live on the continent of North America. If you wrote down the United States, that's country. We live in the country of the United States. We live on the continent of North America. And this says, what do we call half of Earth? If we have Earth and we cut it in half, we call those hemispheres. Okay, see how you did there. And then the only other thing you're going to do right now is you are going to switch and go to it says complete the next page. You are going to flip it over and complete this page right here. The directions say a main idea is the most important idea in a paragraph or passage. The supporting details give more information about the main idea. Read the passage, answer the questions, and then you're going to fill in the correct bubble. So number 1, read this. Number 2, answer these 4 questions, fill in the correct bubble. And that is all you are doing for lesson 1 of social studies. All right, bye guys.